Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Angela Constance baffles me. This is the Justice Secretary who blames everything and everyone except herself and her SNP government for the fact that 1,000 prisoners will be released, dangerous prisoners will be released, let out early from Scotland's prisons thanks to an overcrowding crisis because they don't have enough prisons. This is also the woman who says, I won't build any more prisons because building prisons only encourages crimes. She is clearly a lunatic who needs to be locked up and given some severe medication to help her with her psychoses. However, she has been forced to try to defend the release of 1,000 dangerous criminals early and insisted that it wasn't the SNP's fault that prisons are overcrowded. But the SNP are in charge of justice. They're in charge of building prisons. They started and tried to build a prison for about 12 years now. Barely one brick has been laid on another. And hold on to your mental hats here. She has claimed that Scotland should stop jailing criminals. What? The next tranche of very dangerous criminals that are going to be let out today. They're going to go out. They'll be out there for Christmas. Some of them, of course, won't see Christmas. They'll come out, commit crimes, and be straight back in. Maybe murder someone. Last time there was a big prisoner released, there was a murder by a prisoner on the very day he was released. Hundreds more, of course, will follow in the new year. Now, the Scottish Government railroaded through this emergency legislation a few years ago, and it gives them power to free prisoners early, just in case. And they said, well, it's emergency only, we won't need it. This will be the third time it's been used. Today is the third time. January it'll be the third. Today's the second time. January will be the third time it's been used. But remember, it was emergencies only. And now you have a Justice Secretary that doesn't even want to jail criminals and says that, that building prisons only encourages them. You have to wonder about the sanity of these people. And at the same time as they're letting criminals out onto the streets, they're cutting funding to the police. The police are massively underfunded. So if you are living in Scotland, just prepare yourself, because you're about to live in the Wild West, where criminals will run amok. There will be nothing to stop them. It will be a criminal cabal running Scotland. And my only hope is that some of these lunatics actually do something to these politicians so that the politicians realise what it's like living in Scotland. Now, victims of crime have to be proactive to find out if their assailants or whatever, if you like, have been let out, because the Scottish Government refused to tell the victims of crime that the criminals are going to be released and where they're going to be. Basically, hey, take your chances, kids. Hey, did you give evidence against this mass murderer? Well, we ain't telling you when he's coming out. What do we think is going to happen? And why does she say that there aren't... They don't want to build more prisons? We know why. It encourages them. But why not jailing them? I mean, I don't get this. She says you can't build your way out of a high crime society. Yes, you can. You build prisons. And you build some very serious high security prisons. And you put the very, very worst people in there, and they stay in there. What's the problem? If you take the criminals off the streets and put them in a prison, the criminals aren't on the streets. Crime reduces. It's simple, isn't it? You identify a problem and you remove the problem. Unless you're living in Scotland, in which case the problem is Angela Constance. And when your children are murdered and raped and tortured, or you've been mugged for the 4th time this week, just think, it could be worse. Unbelievable, isn't it? Un-effing believable. Stop voting SNP and your children might even grow up. Thanks a lot. Bye.